Okay, so welcome back to the third part in this BB code parsing series. What we're going to be doing now is creating a fun example where we can pass in a YouTube ID, which I have just here. We're going to pass this between YouTube tags, so YouTube like this, and then we're going to end YouTube like that. And what this is going to do is it's going to take this video and it's going to inject it within an iframe that YouTube provide us with the snippet of code, and it's going to output that video onto the page. Now at the moment we don't have YouTube tags recognized by our parser, so we've instantiated, we've got our output, and we're passing this using the parse method. Now at the moment when we refresh, nothing happens. This BB code is not recognized. Now what we need to do is go ahead and add our own advanced rule to deal with this sort of template. So let's go ahead and do that. So before the output, or before we pass our output at least, we need to go ahead and say BB add rule, as we did in the last part of the tutorial. And here we provide the tag name, YouTube. So this corresponds to what the user types here. Okay, so the second parameter is again an array, and we have a few elements or key values that we need to pass through here. So the first is the mode. Now this isn't string data, it is BBcode underscore mode underscore enhanced. Okay, so this just is a constant that tells us what we're trying to do here. Here we have template, and let me just go ahead and line these up, and that is a string. We also have class, again I'll explain that again in just a moment, and then allow in, and this is just where it's allowed in. I'm just going to enter null. This would usually be an array. Okay, so the template that we're going to be using is the snippet of code that we can grab from YouTube, and then we're going to inject this video ID into that template. The class is going to be block, so I want it to display as a block element. And now for the template. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this template just into a new file. So what we have here is, let me just put this on one line. What we have here is an iframe that YouTube uses, particularly for HTML5 videos. So this is the newest code that we use, or snippet of code that we use to inject YouTube videos, so it can utilize HTML5 video. And we have the video ID. This is the only thing that we need to inject in. So if we go ahead and take this code and we place that into the template, what we can now do is we can go ahead and place in the video ID that's within these tags into here. Now we do this with the property name content. So if we go ahead and use, we use curly braces, we say $_content. Now what that's going to do is it's going to take anything between the YouTube tags and it's going to place that just here. Okay, so all the user has to do is grab the video ID, place it within YouTube tags. It will call this enhanced rule that we've created. It will look at the template and it will take this content here and it will inject it here. Okay, and we've got everything else that we need. It will be a block element and it won't be allowed within any other elements. Okay, so what we're going to do now is actually go ahead and preview this. So when I go ahead and refresh the page, you see that we now have a YouTube video. We can see the markup in here. I've got my element inspector open. We've got an iframe here. You can see here that we've got youtube.com/embed, and then that's the YouTube ID that we passed in here, remember? And we also have obviously the iframe contents that have been injected in, which aren't important in the case of this tutorial. So that's just a fun example of how we can use a BB code parser, namely MBBC, which I've found to be, really useful. It's just quick and easy, and everything's there and ready for you to use. You just tweak the options to how you prefer. There's a load of methods, there's a load of different ways you can configure this, so I suggest you go ahead, read the manual and start to practice around with this brilliant BB code parser.